Hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not new, then welcome back. For those who have not engaged with my content, allow me to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Lonnie and I'm a travel hacking and points enthusiast. What that means is over the last 10 plus years, I haven't paid $1 for a single vacation and I have traveled across this globe multiple times. Now, I'm able to do that just off of experiences that I've learned with different hotels, airlines, and credit cards. Now, I get a lot of questions from friends and family on one, how do I do it? And two, can I teach them how to do it as well? Which in turn inspired me to create this YouTube channel so I can just build a broader community of friends and family, including yourselves. Now, today marks the 1 month anniversary since I started this YouTube channel, and I've gotten so much engagement from all of you in the comment section, email, and including a couple of you that I've met at the airport, which is awesome. So what I wanted to do is take those top questions that I've received over this last month and answer them for you directly. Cool? So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Now, I've compiled and paraphrased some of these questions because I've seen it repeated so many times, but the basis is still there. So for number one, Lonnie, you mentioned United is your go-to airline. Have you ever flown another airline, or would you consider another airline? So the answer to that is yes to both. Now, United is my go-to airline, but it's because in my hometown, as I grew up, in my regional airport, it was the major airline. And still to this day, it's the easiest airline that will get me back home to my parents. So yeah, I do fly United a lot, but would I fly a different airline? Of course, and there's two reasons behind that. One is at this particular moment, I still have a full-time job. So I'll have different partners and clients that will buy me a ticket to go to one of their events or to their HQ. Whatever airline they purchase for me, I just hop on it. The other aspect of it is that I do have aspirational travel goals within my personal travel setup. So for example, if I want to fly La Premiere on Air France, well, I can only do that by flying Air France. So there are different options for me to not take United and take a different airline. For number two, we have, I want to get into travel points. What's the best card for me? Now that actually depends on a few things. The first thing I would say is what's available to you. Like if you live in a small area that has a regional airport, it might only have a few different airlines versus if you were to live in a metropolitan city like Chicago, where you have access to Midway and O'Hare Airport and you have a plethora of airlines. So which airline is going to get you to where you want to go and also get you back home? So pick your partners and then build your setup around said partners. Now, if you only have an airline or two, like the way I grew up with United, then yeah, United's my go-to. If you have multiple airlines available to you, then you might want to go to a travel card that has multiple transfer partners. So that way you have a more diverse option to get to and from your destinations. Now, the second part to that question is pick a goal and stick to it. Now, everybody's setup is different and everybody's goal is different. I've had people say they just want to be able to buy business or first class seats for when they travel personally, which is great. So if you're just getting those seats at a ridiculously reduced cost, perfectly fine. My goal was to not pay at all. That's my goal and I stick with it every day. I have a niece that's in college right now and she's just starting to build her credit card strategy. So she asked me this exact same question and her response was, I just want to be able to come home more often. Now, can we just be real? Like that's literally like the best answer, right? Like, can we just take a moment with that? But because she knows what her goal is, I can help her build a strategy that allows her to come home more often. Now, when she's done with college, that goal can change. But right now it's pick a goal. So that way you know exactly what you want to build your strategy around. For question number three, we have what's one trick that you use that most people don't know about? Now, this is a great question and I see it happen almost on every single flight that I take. and that is not signing your kids up for a frequent flyer account. Now, to get an account, you normally have to be 13 or older, but if you're younger than that, you just need a parent or guardian to sign you up for it. Now, on the second level of that, if your child is 3 or older, you have to buy them a seat. That's just the policy for most US airlines. And if they're younger than 3, they could be a child in lap or infant in lap, which means I buy the seat, my kid sits with me, I just hold on to them for the entire flight. The reason why this is so important is because if you buy a seat, that seat could get miles. So I see families all the time that might have 2 or 3 kids, and they bought 3 seats and none of those kids have a frequent flyer account, which means mom and dad, you guys are getting miles, but your kids are not. The reason why this is so important is because, especially with United, and I can speak for United, that is, United miles don't expire. So if you're taking these vacations and you bought that seat, then your kids should be getting those miles for when they fly on those vacations. And because those miles don't expire, think of how many family vacations you're going to be flying on until they're out of high school. By the time they get to college, they'll have thousands, tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 miles in which they can use to go with their friends on spring break or come home and do their laundry more often, whatever it is. Now, if you do have an infant and you purchase that seat to put a car seat into or like a carrier seat into, then that infant, even though they're an infant, can also get miles because you paid for that seat. So if you buy a seat, someone should be getting miles for it, who's ever sitting in it. So sign your kids up for frequent flyer accounts so they can start accruing miles. And like I said, in most cases, those miles never expire. You're setting them up to be travel pros, or at least have a good bank of miles by the time they are young adults. At number 4, we have how early do you book your trips for the best deals? Now, that's a great question, and that my answer is usually 9 to 12 months in advance for both hotels and airlines. Now, with airlines, if you wanted a first class seat and they put that out 12 months in advance, they usually only do like 2 or 3 first class seats. So you need to be there early to book it, especially for the best price or the best award ticket price. Now, suites like ANA's The Room or Singapore Airlines suite or even La Premiere on Air France, they only give away like 1, 2, maybe even 3 of these for award seats. So if you're not there early, you're probably going to miss out. Now, business class seats are usually more readily available, but they're cheaper with the award points and miles 12 months out than they are like 3, 2, or 1 month out. As for hotels, I also like to book at least 12 months out in advance, right when they open up. And normally, my little trick to do this is just put it on your credit card. Now, I know this might sound hypocritical, but in most cases, as long as you book a refundable room, you can get a refund usually between 5 and 7 days before you actually have to show up. In this case, it only allows me an entire year to wait for a better deal. And by better deal, I'm not talking about pricing going down, I'm talking about a transfer offer. So if it was transfer points and get a 70% bonus, 200% bonus, 50% bonus to that hotel partner, well then I will just transfer points, book the hotel room again, and then go cancel the reservation I had on my credit card, getting all my money back. But at least I had that room booked for me a year in advance. For question number 5, it's how many credit cards do I have? And for this one, I should probably put it at number 1. It's actually the question I get the most. And I have 9 credit cards. That's it. Now, I know there are people out there that say they have 16 and 20 and even up to 40. I have 9, and those 9 all work together in my personal strategy and setup. So it's easy for me to manage. I know all 9 of them inside and out. I've never had to cancel one or change or anything like that. If I see another credit card, I'll just add it to my setup as long as it can fit in, because my setup works best for me. I have no complaints about it. So I only have 9. I'm not going to go over every single one. I do have another previous video that goes over my top 5 cards that I use the most, but yeah, I have 9 cards. For number 6, we have, is there a card I don't have yet? To answer that, it might not seem shocking, but I don't have any hotel cards. So you've heard me say it before, I don't like paying for my vacations. I can use airline miles to book my hotels, whatever it is, but I don't see the need for a hotel card. In most cases, some of the top tier cards like the Hilton Honors or Marriott Bonvoy could be around $400 to $450. Now, yes, you may get one free night at their property, but it's not really one free night. It's one free night for $400 or $450. So I'm still paying for that free night via the annual fee. So me personally, I don't have any hotel cards. I use my points or my miles to book my hotels, so that way I can stay at zero cost out of pocket. And for number 7, we have, what's the best piece of advice for someone looking to get their first credit card? And that's a 2-part answer. Number 1 is get rid of your debit card. Your debit card does absolutely nothing for you. You don't get points, miles, benefits, or perks when you use your debit card. So just get rid of it. Use your credit card like your debit card. Your debit card takes money out of your checking account, so just use your credit card, and when you pay it off, use the exact same checking account. Your credit card is now your debit card, and it's getting benefits and rewards. So the second thing about getting a card is, what are you getting the card for? Make sure you keep that in mind. So there's multiple spending categories for every single person every month, no matter if it's rent, groceries, utility bills, cell phone bills, buying your dog food, whatever. What are you getting the card for? And then make sure you keep that in mind. So if you're not getting a card that's actually working within your spending lifestyle, I would recommend don't get that card. Please don't get a card just because someone told you it's a great card and that you look cool having it. That never works out. And at the end of the day, you might be paying an annual fee because you have a cool metal card that you can't use. So what are you getting the card for? And make sure you keep that in mind. And for my last question today, number 8, it's, can I make more videos? And the answer to that is an absolute yes. I am committed to uploading at least 1 video a week. And being that my channel has been live now for a month and I'm exceeding that, we're on a good pace. I have so many more travel hacks and tips to share with you all. So with that, make sure you're subscribed, ring that bell so that you're notified when a new video goes up, so you're ahead of the curve for that particular information. Outside of that, leave a comment if any of this was helpful or another question that I could use in November's FAQ video, and then share this with a friend or family member so that we can continue growing this community. Other than that, that's all I got for you today. So I will catch you in the next video.